So bring the soles of your feet together, knees open wide. Make your way down onto your back. Notice your natural inclination for where you rest your arms. And allow them to rest wherever they land. No preference here. And in fact, as we move through practice tonight, I invite you to consider where you can bring in a sense of neutrality, where you can begin to notice what your preferences are. You can allow them to be just as they are. And through this time of observation and movement, begin to release some of your preferences. Once you find a comfortable position here in your body, where you feel rooted and a sense of opening, expansion, especially across the heart space and the hips. Notice where you can release any effort. And then draw your attention to your breath. Notice where your breath shows up the most. The sensations that accompany your breath, both the inhalation and the exhalation. As your lungs receive the air, the oxygen, nourishment, and then release and let go. Now begin to count the length of your inhalation, expanding your inhale to a count of 4. And count your exhale, allowing your exhale to be equal in length, count of 4. Continue with this breath pattern, in for 4. A gentle pause as you transition to the out breath. Release for 4. Continue for 4 more rounds of breath. Equal inhale, equal exhale. Now release the counting of the breath. Allow your breath to flow naturally. Guide your awareness, your attention to the space between your eyebrows, your third eye. Notice what you sense there. Take a moment to recognize an intention for your practice tonight. Repeat your intention to yourself one time, using it in the present tense. Perhaps beginning with the words, I am. Now guide your hands to your outer thighs and fold your legs in towards one another. So your knees will lift towards the ceiling, the soles of your feet will come to the earth. You may want to shift the placement of your feet or towards you or further away from you, just enough space so that you can touch your heel with your middle finger. Feel the grounding presence of your feet meeting the earth. Take a deep breath in and feel this broadening across the chest, the ribs, and exhale, release. Draw your arms by your side. On your next inhale breath, lift your hips and lift your arms up overhead simultaneously. As you exhale, slowly release your hips and your arms. Move at the same pace, perhaps returning to the 4-count inhale and 4-count exhale. Move through 3 more rounds of a rolling bridge pose. Notice how it feels to move in sync with your breath. When you've completed your final round, your arms are by your side. Hips on the earth. Keep your arms by your side and lift up for one more round of bridge pose, this time taking a clasp of your hands underneath your low back. Externally rotate your upper arms and lift your heart to draw your shoulder blades together. Press down through the soles of your feet and release any clenching in the glutes. One more round of breath here. Now release the clasped hands and release one vertebra at a time, all the way down onto your back. Plant your palms facing down and take a gentle windshield wiper movement side to side with your hips, with your legs. If you'd like to linger in a twist as your legs fall to either side, and take a round of breath or two, you're welcome to do that. The next time that you come through center, draw your knees into your chest and give yourself a big hug. Wrap your forearms around your knees and draw your chin towards your chest, lift your shoulders. Relax your shoulders down your back. If movement calls to you, you can take a gentle rock side to side. And then release. Draw your legs and your arms up towards the ceiling and take a gentle tantrum asana. Shake out your limbs. Now flex your hands so your palms would root against the ceiling if they could. And as you do this, draw your knees a little bit bent so your feet can also flex. They'll be a little bit wider. We're going to do a little bit of core work, so it'll look like this. You don't have to watch me, but it'll be a double exhalation. Take a deep breath with the back on the earth. Then as you exhale, lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale again, lift your tailbone. Inhale, release. Exhale, lift head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, lift tailbone. Inhale, release. As you take the second exhale, you might draw your knees towards the outer elbows. Take this movement 3 more times on your own. There's no particular way that this should look or should feel. Rather, be attentive to how it feels in your experience. Once you've completed your 3rd round, hug your knees into your chest again. This time, just take your palms to the tops of your knees. Hug your knees in towards your ribs and do take a gentle sway side to side. From here, draw your palms underneath your thighs and rock and roll gently forward and back along the length of your spine. So we'll eventually transition all the way to seated. And then from seated, make your way to tabletop. Line your palms underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Draw your core in, so you could draw your navel towards your spine, and then step 1 foot back. And take some gentle movement forward and back, drawing a stretch along the back side of your leg. And release and repeat on the second side. Return to tabletop. Take a round of cow and cat pose. Articulate the movement between each vertebra as you lift your heart and your tailbone. Inhale. As you exhale, lift the middle section of your back towards the ceiling. Drop your gaze towards your big toes. This movement 3 more times. Last round, notice the movement of your shoulders as you take your cat and cow. Make your way to a neutral spine and walk your hands back towards your knees. Tuck all 10 toes underneath you. Use your fingers to encourage even the pinky toes to come underneath. Intense foot stretch. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, draw your hands to your heart. An inhale breath here. Feel a sense of lifting through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, draw your palms to your thighs. One more inhale breath, draw your shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, draw your palms down your thighs and to the earth. Walk your hands 1 to 2 handprints forward and tap out the tops of your feet. And then turn your wrists around for a big cat stretch. With the fingers point towards your knees, thumbs point outward. Take your gaze forward towards just the top of your mat. And take 2 more rounds of breath here. Release the hand stretch. Come to sit on your heels, this time with the tops of your feet flush with the mat. Last big foot stretch. Draw your fingertips behind you. Draw your shoulder blades together. Lift through the heart, and then lift your knees off the earth to draw a stretch through the tops of the feet and ankles. Release the ankle stretch. Return through tabletop. Walk your hands 1 handprint forward of where your tabletop would be. Draw your hips forward. Lower all the way to the earth. Hug your elbows into your ribs as you lower. Then press the tops of your feet into your mat. Feel your kneecaps lift. Inhale to a cobra pose. Exhale, release. Take this twice more. Inhale, low cobra. Focus on lengthening from the toes to the top of the head. And exhale, release. Last one, inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, release. Your forehead to tap the earth. Tuck all 10 toes under. Spread your fingers wide. And on an inhale breath, lift to a high plank position. As you exhale, lift your hips high for downward facing dog. Draw your gaze towards your big toes or towards the back of your mat. Spread your fingers wide again and root down through the full surface of your palms. Draw your heart back towards your thighs and lift your tailbone. Like a little bit of gentle movement here, of course, you can pedal out your legs. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Inhale. As you exhale, walk your feet forward 1 footprint at a time, all the way to the top of your mat. Feet hip distance apart. You can measure that by placing your fists between the balls of your feet. Take your next inhale breath to lift halfway. Palms can come to shins. Lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Exhale, fold forward. Now take your peace fingers and wrap them around your big toes. Again, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, use the pressure between your peace fingers and your big toes to draw you deeper into your forward fold. One more time, inhale, lift halfway with your finger clasps. Exhale, draw in and fold. Release your fingers and use the full length of your inhalation to rise all the way to standing. Vinyasa mountain pose. Reach your arms up overhead. Draw your shoulders into their sockets. You can spread your toes. Close your eyes. As you exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Take a few rounds of breath here to notice what you feel in this position. Sensation of your feet meeting the earth. Sensation of engagement in your body holding you in this shape. Sensation of your breath moving through your body. Notice where you can release effort and still maintain this pose. Now as you exhale, release your palms by your side. Draw your shoulder blades together. Inhale, open your arms wide. Reach your hands overhead. As you exhale, draw your hands through your heart and fold forward. Nice, deep swan dive. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release your palms to the earth. Step back to high plank. Stay for your inhale breath. As you exhale, rock forward to the tips of your toes. You can stay with your knees lifted or take your knees to the earth. Draw your elbows by your ribs as you lower. Inhale to cobra pose or upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Inhale, notice your experience in this pose. Exhale, release a little bit of effort wherever you can. You inhale, rock forward to high plank again. Bend your feet at least hip distance apart. Nice engagement through the quadriceps, through the legs supporting you here. Now as you exhale, we're going to lower down halfway to chaturanga. Hug your elbows by your side. And inhale back to high plank. Take this movement twice more on your own, with more than enough permission to lower to your knees and try that as well. And the next time you find yourself in high plank, use an exhale breath to rise back to downward facing dog. One breath in and one breath out. Inhale. And as you exhale, walk your hands back to meet your feet in your forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana again, halfway lift. Exhale and fold forward. Take the clasp of your fists around your big toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release, draw in. Release the clasp of your fingers and rise all the way to Tadasana. Inhale, breath. Feel your fingers expanding up towards the ceiling. Take your gaze towards the sky as well. And now cactus your arms and lift your heart. Inhale, come back to Tadasana, release the back bend. Exhale, cactus your arms, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Inhale, reach your hands skyward. Now clasp your hands and take a soft bend to your knees. And take a side body stretch to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, side body stretch to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, open your arms like wings to fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release your palms to the earth and walk your palms forward to your high plank position. For an inhale breath, flow through your choice of Vinyasa. Your own transition back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, draw your knee to the outer elbow on the right side, high plank. Inhale, lift your leg high. Exhale, step your right foot outside of your right hand for a runner's lunge. You can stay on your palms, or if it's accessible to you, you're welcome to come down onto your forearms. Take some gentle movement forward and back here. Notice what sensations are present in your hips. Come into stillness and release your left knee to the earth. Keep your left palm or elbow planted and draw your right palm to your inner thigh. Come onto the knife edge of your right foot and take your gaze skyward past your shoulder. Your exhale, release the twist. Toe heel your right foot to the center of your mat. Lift your left knee and rotate your left foot to the earth to prepare for warrior two. Rise on your inhalation. With the expansion of your arms, opening in your hips, and take your gaze forward over your front middle finger. Notice where you can soften and release some of the effort here and still maintain the pose. Focus your drishti right on your right middle fingernail. Take one more breath. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Flip both palms skyward and then lean forward and hinge to triangle pose. Take your gaze upward towards your left hand. Take one more round of breath here. Your next exhale, draw your left arm forward towards the front of your mat and create a side body stretch. You're still in triangle. You could even let your left hand dangle. Now as you exhale, round your heart towards your right thigh and make your way towards the long edge of your mat. Rotate your right foot parallel with the left, Krasarita. Release the crown of your head towards the earth and plant your palms on the earth. Spread your fingers wide. Feel the lifting of your tailbone up towards the ceiling and this sense of foundation here in the connection between your palms and your mat. Your next breath in, lift halfway and rotate your heels in, toes point out. And rise to goddess pose or horse pose. Draw your hands to your inner thighs. On an exhale breath, lift your right shoulder and drop your left shoulder in. Take your gaze over your left shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale, drop your right shoulder forward, lift your left shoulder. Take your gaze towards the earth. Inhale, return to center. Lift your gaze. And now as you exhale, draw your left shoulder in and lift your gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale to center. And last one. Drop the right shoulder and lift your gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale to center. Stay for your exhale. And now inhale to star pose. Full expansion and expression. Draw your hands to your heart and then step your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart, shoulder distance apart maybe. Toes still point out, heels point in. Take a deep breath in and lengthen through the crown of your head. And now as you exhale, find Malasana, your frog pose. Your heels can lift and you might choose to support underneath your heels with a little bit of a roll in your mat or a blanket. You can have your hands at your heart, pressing your thighs into your elbows into your thighs. Or if it feels more steady, you can bring your palms to the earth. Perhaps play around with closing your eyes. Allow your tailbone to be heavy. Take one more breath here. Inhale, blink your eyes open. Exhale, release your palms to your mat or to the earth and lift your hips high. Give a side view. Now, play around with leaning forward and finding a connection point between your shins and your upper arms. Take your gaze and your drishti to a point just in front of your hands, about 6 inches into the center of your mat. Keep your toes on the earth. Play around with rocking forward and back. And now release, come back onto your heels. Toe heel your feet a little bit closer together. And now wrap your arms around your shins, around your knees. And imagine that you can draw your legs open, your hips open. You're resisting it with your arms. One more round of breath. Now release your hands and lift your hips high for a forward fold. Release any tension in your head and neck by shaking your head no, nodding your head yes. Use an inhale breath to rise all the way to Tadasana Mountain Pose. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. And if you're still facing the middle of your mat on the long section, go ahead and take a quarter turn and step to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach your arms open and up. Exhale, open your arms wide like wings as you fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release your palms and step 1 foot back at a time, high plank. Stay for your inhale. Use your exhale to flow through your vinyasa to downward facing dog. Close your eyes and concentrate on the connection points between your palms and the earth. And the sensation of your breath. Inhale, lift your left leg high and blink your eyes open. Exhale, draw your knee outside your left elbow, high plank. Inhale, lift your leg high. Exhale, step your foot outside of your left palm, runner's lunge. Take some time again to shift forward and back now on this side. Notice what sensations are present to you here. When you're ready for stillness, find stillness and release your right knee to the earth. Keep your right palm or forearm planted and bring your left palm to your inner thigh, onto the knife edge of your foot, and draw your gaze over your left shoulder. Gently release the twist. Toe heel your foot to the center of your space. And lift your right knee. Prepare for warrior two. And rise on your inhale breath. Feel the sense of expansion across your heart space. The lift of the crown of your head. Connection. Firm foundation in your legs. Draw your gaze towards your front middle fingernail. Notice where you can release some of the effort here and still maintain the position. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, hinge forward, flip your palms upward, and then hinge to triangle pose. Take your gaze up towards your right hand. Feel length from your spine, so the crown of your head could grow a little bit longer. Now reach your right arm forward. Get a nice long side body stretch. Begin to let your hand and arm dangle overhead. So you exhale around your heart towards your thigh and return to Prasarita. Allow your feet to be parallel. Plant your palms on the earth and release the crown of your head towards the ground as well. Allow your head to be heavy. Take one more round of breath here. Your next breath in, lift halfway. And as you exhale, take a side lunge to the right. Lift your left toes towards the ceiling. Walk your hands over to the inner right thigh. And keep your hands on the earth, or bring your hands to your heart for a little bit more of a balance. Now as you exhale, release your palms to the earth. Shift your upper body forward. And then transition your weight to your left side. Walk one hand print at a time over. And lift your right toes towards the ceiling. Hands can stay on the earth or bring your hands to your heart. Release your hands to the earth. Lean forward in the upper body. Transition your weight to your palms as now you straighten your left leg and return to Prasarita. Then draw your hands to your hip crease, and with a flat back, rise all the way to standing. Star pose, lift your arms high. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. Take a quarter turn to the left and step back to the top of your space. Step your feet out the width of the mat, so your toes point out, heels point in. Then take another deep breath, lengthen through the crown of your head. As you exhale, find Malasana, your frog pose. Draw your elbows into your inner thighs, draw your hands to your heart. Allow your tailbone to be heavy, your heart and your head to be light. Take your gaze to the horizon line in front of you, and then soften your gaze. Begin everything in the periphery. You exhale, release your palms to the earth. Spread your fingers wide. And lift your hips. Keep your feet as they are. With your hips lifted, take your gaze to the space about 6 inches in front of your palms. Draw your shins to connect with your upper arms and bend your elbows 90 degrees. Play around with lifting one foot, maybe lifting both feet, and drawing your toes towards each other. If you'd like, you can play around with little hops and hop yourself back. Giving yourself a little bit of extra space towards the top of your mat to play around with this pose. You can draw your big toes together, your heels lift towards your butt. Find a gentle lift of the heart and fix your gaze to a point on your mat that won't move. Take 3 more breaths in the pose or playing around with the pose. When you're ready to release, return to Malasana. Turn the soles of your feet to the earth, your hands to your heart. Take 1 more breath here. And release your palms to the mat. Step 1 foot back at a time. And flow through one last vinyasa to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, count to 4. And take a deep breath out, counting to 4. 1 more, 4 count inhale. And 4 count exhale. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, draw your knee forward to meet your wrist for half pigeon. Conversely, if you prefer figure 4, come down to your back or to a seated figure 4. Pigeon, bring your hands to frame your front leg, and then take your gaze over your right shoulder. Feel your left hip melt towards your heel. Then return to center. Melt forward over your leg. Maintain the 4 count inhalation. See if you can extend your exhalation to a count of 6 or a count of 8. Notice where you can soften and surrender in this shape. Next, inhale breath to walk your palms underneath your shoulders. Curl your left toes under and press up and back to your downward dog. Any movement here that you need, or simply allow your heels to melt towards the earth. Your hips to extend towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, draw your knee to your wrist for half pigeon on the second side. Tuck the core, move into the second side. Take some time to get set up. Your knees over your left shoulder, allowing your right hip to melt towards your heel. Then return to center and fold forward over your leg. Give your full attention to your breath. Inhale to a count of 4. And exhale to a count of 6 or 8. Use your next inhalation to walk your palms back underneath your shoulders for support. Curl your right toes under. Lift your hips high for downward facing dog. Notice what you need out of this pose this last time here. And take 3 more breaths. Use an inhale breath to rock forward to high plank. Exhale, draw your knees to the earth and keep your knees together if you'd like for the embryo variation of child's pose. Allow your forehead to kiss the earth and then draw your hands around towards your feet. Maybe clasp the outer edges of your heels or your feet. And allow your back body to round and to be heavy. Return to the intention that you set for your practice. And repeat it again. Release the feet and walk your hands forward. As you inhale, lift halfway. Walk your hands off of your mat to the right. Take a side body stretch. Allow both hips to fall towards your heels. And drape your torso over your right thigh. Inhale, lift halfway, and walk your hands torso over to the left. And the side body shape in opposite direction. Feeling a sense of expansion and release from the inside. Inhale, lift halfway. Return to center. Take one full deep breath here. Slowly walk your palms back towards your knees. Press yourself up to a seated posture. Rock onto either hip to extend your legs straight out in front of you. You Give yourself enough space that when we do lie down, you have plenty of support underneath you. Take your hands to the tops of your thighs and point and flex your feet or take some circles in your ankles. One more forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward, draping yourself over your legs. Allow your upper body to be heavy. And release your hands to the mat on either side of your legs. 2 more breaths. Inhale, release the forward fold and draw your arms parallel with your legs. You exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time. Slow as you like. Feel each part of your back connect with the earth. And when your head hits the earth, release your arms. Feel the space underneath your shoulders release fully as well. Draw your arms by your side, your palms down. Shift onto either hip so you can bring your hands underneath your butt. And then draw your elbows underneath your back, preparing for fish pose. When you're ready, press down through your forearms and your elbows, lift your head, neck, and shoulders, your back, and then slowly release the crown of your head towards the earth. Point your toes, and feel your heart lift. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Open and close your mouth once or twice. Again, press down through your elbows, your forearms, lift your head, neck, and shoulders, and slowly release the toes. Then release your hands. Hug your knees into your chest. Extend your left leg long. Keep your right knee drawn in. Open your right arm out like a wing. And use your left hand to guide your leg across your body for a supine twist. Keep your right shoulder rooted into the earth. Then soften all of the muscles across the collarbones, the neck, and the shoulders. Allow your breath to flow freely. You inhale, release the twist. Hug both knees into your chest, and then extend your right leg long. Open your left arm out by the side. See your cactus shape as you guide your leg across your body. Anchor your shoulders into the earth and then find the release of effort there. You inhale, release the twist. Give yourself one more hug. The additional posture that you feel you need to close out your practice. And make your way to your Shavasana. Release the control of your breath. Or if you felt it was helpful to Count the length of your inhale and the length of your exhale. You can return to the 4-count inhalation and the 6 or 8-count exhalation. Notice how it feels to release all effort here. Come into this experience of rest. Noticing your body as a whole. Know that your body is a silent communicator with your spirit. Hold this space at the end of practice to allow the practice to integrate into our experience. Become aware of your breath. Become aware of what sensations are present in your body in this moment. Some time to acknowledge how you feel. Now, lengthen your breath again. Equal inhale, equal exhale. Begin to reintroduce movement into your body. Move intuitively and intentionally. Take your time to transition to a fetal pose on either side when you are ready. Rest in this pause. Use your top hand to press yourself up to a seated posture of your choice. Draw your hands to your heart and allow your eyes to remain closed or your gaze to remain soft. Your gaze drawn inward, reconnect with your intention. And take a moment to recognize yourself for taking this time to cultivate your awareness, to move your body mindfully. Notice any benefits you received from your practice tonight. If you'd like to take them off of your mat with you, you might name what it is that you will take with you.